All right, guys, we're going to get right into it, man. So, Donald Trump has picked the most pro-war hawk, neocon, pro-Israeli cabinet members known to date since Lyndon B. Johnson, guys. All the MAGA people are going crazy. They don't know what's going on. This guy was supposed to be fighting the rogue bureaucrats. He's supposed to dismantle the deep state. He's supposed to pin charges on everybody as a military tribunal. Some people are saying he had a military tribunal behind him, ready to go after the people that the whole 2020 election situation and all that. So all that, and it seems like he's just draining in the swamp, guys. And he's making all the wrong picks, from Marco Rubio to Waltz to Ratcliffe. These people have said certain things that really infringe on the Constitution and the First Amendment. He's making like little statements here and there. So he picks this guy too for defensive secretary, right? This guy Pete Hegseth. And this guy's one of those guys that runs around. He's on Fox News. He works for Fox News, so that's already a red flag, right? Anyone that works for Fox News or any of these mainstream media, like, that's already a red flag. That means you're trained to bullshit, right? And then the guy, he's made some comments saying like, oh, we should, and pretty much infringing on people's First Amendment rights. We should deport people who protest against the genocide happening in the Middle East. And, Trump kind of agreed with him. And I don't think any of these guys, like I don't think they understand the Constitution, guys. Like, what the fuck? Well, why would you, that's such a dumb statement. Anyway, so everybody's accusing him of a Nazi, and he has this Nazi tattoo on his chest, which is not. It's the Jerusalem cross, and there's a whole bunch of shit going on X. But apparently one thing that did happen was the guy was accused of sexual assault. Look, I don't want to pin this shit on him. I don't like doing this anymore, because now we know that if you don't rock with them boys, or you go against the grain, they hit you with Diddy charges. Like, we're seeing that with pretty much everybody who's really, even Trump had to go through that, with the hush money. And this guy has a similar situation where he paid a female, apparently, some hush money as well, to after she accused him of sexual assault as part of a non-disclosure agreement. So this guy's going through a similar situation. Like I said, guys, these 304s are so easily manipulated. Who knows who's behind this whole thing? We know there are people, there are sick people out there sending these dumb broads to go out there and pretty much take some of these guys. So I'm not gonna pin it on them. Fuck that. We're not gonna sit here and even though I'm not a big fan of the guy, but like, it's like, we're not gonna play that fucking game, because we know what they're doing, right? They're pretty much targeting men in this country, which is with these fake Diddy charges if you don't agree with their politics, which is really a low blow there. Some sick people out here. So sexual assault charge. Monterey Police Department investigating alleged sexual assault at one old golf course road. This happened in 2017. So this guy's apparently still going through litigation with this shit. And so one thing, I pulled up a video about him. Look, so one thing he does understand is we are not capable of going to war with China, guys. So that's another thing that some of these neocons don't get, is that they've actually done, in the Pentagon, they've done like trials and shit of what a war with China would look like. And the United States literally lost every single war trial they freaking did, man. Like, we're just incapable of going to war with China, but these people are egging this shit on, bro. And they're gonna cost a lot of American lives fucking with Xi Jinping's army, man. Let's play this clip right here. This is interesting. Shout out to Sean Ryan. He's has a dope channel that's he's doing his thing on there, man. He's bringing some great guests. And we're gonna go ahead and listen to what he has to say here.
The first day that Trump is in office, because that would be the weakest point before we start to see an incline. And if they don't, if Kamala gets in there, I would wait another 4 years. Just let it keep declining. And that would just let this place get as weak as it possibly can. And then I would pull the trigger. And I think that's when we'll see it. I think we'll see China go after Taiwan. I think we'll see the coordinated attacks from these terrorist organizations. I think Russia probably has more up their sleeve. Iran, Korea. What do you think of that?
Because we're dealing with enemies with long memories.
I mean, and they can keep wargaming this, and I forgot to bring this scenario up. They keep running this scenario through. They put in the latest data, and they just increase their probability of winning the longer they wait. Unless we get a stronger leader that starts to turn the ship around. And all the signs are already there with our military. I mean, I wish I would have checked these numbers before we jumped on today, but I mean, China's Navy is astronomically bigger than what we have now at this point. I mean, they're building, I can't remember, is it like a new aircraft carrier every year or every couple of months or something like that? We can't do that.
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems. We're always, the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works, we're always a decade behind in fighting the last war. Whereas China, we have, what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war, the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe, and yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, and if they've already got us by the balls economically, which you pointed out very well, with our grid, culturally, there's plenty of elite capture going on around the globe. I mean, and then microchips and everything. Why do they want Taiwan? They want to corner the market completely on the technological future. We can't even drive our cars without the stuff we need out of China these days. I mean, they have a full spectrum, long-term view of not just regional but global domination, and we have our heads up our asses.
Yeah.
And that's the terrorist threat of our border. By the way, China probably has more people here, as many or more than these terrorist organizations planted.
You know what they're doing now? They have all these crypto scams. They're trying to suck all the money out of the country now. So they have all these crypto scams going on, and people are falling for it. And I'm not talking like chump change. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars. They come around. Basically what they do is they try to get you to invest in Bitcoin type crypto stuff, and they'll be like, hey Pete, give me 15 grand. I'll turn it into 45 in 2 weeks. You give them the 15 grand, like, all right, I can.
Yeah, man. So I mean, the guy, at least he understands the fact that war with China would be absolutely idiotic and would not benefit anyone in any way. Not only that, we're probably not even capable with our 400,000 reserves to go to a full-blown war with China, which is a huge-ass country. Well, essentially, we'd be going to war with China and North Korea in that situation. Also, that'll give the Iranians, the ability to, if they're focusing on the Pacific, the Iranians will obliterate Israel, right? And then Russia will continue its situation. What's going on? It's just it's going to be a total disaster and humiliating defeat if America thinks of, or Trump has it in his head that he wants to actually go to war with China, which is absolutely idiotic and really wouldn't work for anybody, man. And then China has millions of soldiers. They got 1 billion people, guys. Billion people, millions of people, right? Even I think Iran has more people than America. So it's like, and we do have NATO and all these other people that would potentially get involved in that situation. What's Iran's population? 89 million people. China has 1 billion people, guys. Right? That would be a disastrous war. And they got nuclear weapons. That would be fucking disastrous. At least the guy understands that. Hopefully, and he's Secretary of Defense, so, please convince these neocons that nobody wants a war, because it'll be fucking humiliating for everybody, including the United States, especially the United States and the